Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. If you guys are not aware, look at this. Maintenance is happening really soon for the Evangelion collab, and we have gotten a couple of news more in the skill kits for all three of the SSR characters. So in this video, we're going to check it out and see what it's going to be all about. So let's first jump into Asuka. Alright, so I believe all of you guys are really excited for her, and as you can see, this is going to be her attacking position right there. Alright, so as good as it gets. Now if you are looking for the asset, I guess it's alright for me. It's I will give it a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Alright, it's not bad, right? At least there's nothing covering the view except for the red outfit, which is pretty much, that's a skill burst cut in, which is not bad as well. Pretty cool, and it looks like when she enters the burst skill, look at the amount of animation and firepower that she's able to execute, right? So that's pretty cool. So what is Asuka all about? So let's try and analyze her first. She's going to be the first character in the banner. So she is a burst 3 attacker, assault rifle. Right here you can see, alright, skill 1 activates at the start of the battle. So let me see if you can zoom in a little bit so you guys can get a clearer picture. Damage dealt to shield increased by 601%. So I find that very interesting, right? So she is able to deal damage to shield. Alright, it only affects the damage dealt to the shield, not to the rapture itself. Activates when recovery takes effect. So this can be niche, can be strong, depending on who you are fighting, right? Which enemies you are trying to execute or trying to fight against. Because at the end of the day, not every rapture has shield, so it can be whatever. But the 96.98%, alright, this one is going to be pretty good right here. So yeah, at least you get a attack percent buff overall. So that one is pretty interesting. Now skill 2 assault tactics right here, another passive skill, activates when entering full burst. I like this kind of skill because it relies on you entering the state of full burst. Affects self when in shield status. Dash a strong element increased by 30%. Alright. When entering full burst, affects all fire code allies. Damage dealt when attacking core increased by 60%. So again, this is a very good one for Modernia. Modernia is going to be one of the few characters that will be able to benefit from the element, alright, because they are in the same element, which is fire, and also when attacking core, which not many characters have the ability to. I guess Red Hood to a certain extent, but Red Hood doesn't really benefit from the fire code thing, right? So in that case, Modernia is going to make the most sense. So I feel like she is going to be able to push Modernia back to be one of the top damage dealer, and that's going to be something that I'm willing to try out. Maybe Modernia and Asuka could be a permanent character together in most of the solo raids if this is going to be a thing, right, or a case. So burst skill, as you can see, cooldown time 40 seconds, right? She's a burst 3 after all. So gains pierce for 25 seconds, attack damage increased by 150%, recovers 3% of attack damage as HP. Alright, she basically heals herself. I like it. Alright, that she's able to heal herself. There's self-sustain going on, which is cool. Hit rate also increased as well. So she increased attack damage, she recovers HP, she increased hit rate, she has pierce for that duration. Very cool. And it looks like pretty much she is going to be I wouldn't say indestructible, but self-sustain is very cool, right? The truth is, you still probably want to bring a healer, right? Just because you have a self-sustain doesn't mean you don't need any healer, because the rest of the characters, the rest of the team might still need those in particular. So yeah, Asuka will be able to last in battle longer, but the problem now is going to be teaming her up with a character that provides shield, because it seems like she's going to need that in the team composition right here, at least based on the skill 2, right? So she needs to be in shield status. So there's not that many characters that can do that. Obviously, Tianaga can sort of provide that. But yeah, it's going to be something that's like much more finicky for now and limited to a few team composition. Now that's pretty cool and all. I do think that this is going to give her a lot of potential in the right team, right setup. So let's talk about the next one, which is going to be Rei Ayanami. So pretty cool, interesting right here. So she's going to be the one that I'm really excited for. So Rei Ayanami is going to be also a fire type, right? And she is going to be a machine gun. But looks like in this particular case, maybe the user let it go. But I think usually machine gun has way more ammo, right? So that's pretty cool. Very cool combat scenario right there. Okay, so Rei will be able to, if you want to, you can probably pull both together. And there's a chance that, oh, we get to see the mag. in the back. Okay, that is pretty cool. I love the burst skill cut in right there. Very, very good. Okay, and looks like she obtained some sort of shield when she bursts. Very interesting. So let's have a look. What is she all about right here? So she is a burst skill 3 as well, similar to Asuka right there. Attacker, fire, machine gun. Alright, so skill 1, this is going to be a passive. Damage at strong element increased by 30% for herself after she hits 100 normal attacks, which is very easy to do with machine gun, especially if you give her overload gears with max ammo capacity increase. That's going to help a lot. Activates when landing, after landing 100 normal attacks, affects the enemy within attack range nearest to the crosshair, so deals final attack as damage. Always very good to have this kind of ability. Alright, additional damage basically to the nearest enemy. So this is going to be a very good passive skill overall. It's going to increase the damage more so. So skill 2, another passive skill. At the start of battle, affect self, damage dealt to shield. Very similar to, what's the name? Asuka's one, right? In this case, which is damage dealt to shield 601%. But I think Rei's one is 700%. Okay, slightly higher right here. Alright, it only affects the damage dealt to shield, not to the rapture itself. So keep that in mind. So I am assuming we're going to have a new meta where there's a lot of enemies or bosses with shield. That's going to be annoying, right? So activates when entering burst stage 3, affects all fire code allies, attack increased by 25% of the caster's attack for 10 seconds. Very cool. So that means Rei and Asuka will be able to pair pretty well with each other. Alright, so they are both going to be able to benefit from each other because fire code, right? Both are fire code as well. And it seems like they are meant for each other as well. Burst skill affects all fire code allies, creates a shield equal to 13.4% of the caster's final max HP for 10 seconds. And attack damage increased by 48% for 10 seconds. So every fire allies are going to benefit from this particular skill right here. Burst skill, very, very cool. Also affects all enemies and deals damage. So she creates shield. She deals additional, she basically buffs everyone in that sense, and also she do damage as well. So again, you can see they are trying to design Rei and Asuka to be sort of in the same team, right? So Asuka needs the shield, alright? If she gets a shield, when she's in shield status, her damage at strong element increase even more, and Rei provides that for her. Now, the truth is, this is going to be where it fits in the fire team pretty much. You want to like put them together in the fire team. But one thing that we don't really have, or she doesn't really provide, is the need for Asuka's core, right? Not really core, but rather the healing, which is what I'm trying to say. Because Asuka heals herself, but Rei doesn't really do that for anyone in the team, so you're still gonna need a healer, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem. So I feel like that's where the developers' intent is going with these two characters right now. If we are looking at this in specific, and looks like the game has entered maintenance, so I can't really check in the game, and I want to look which is going to be the best one for fire team overall. But we can go to pre-win as well. So if you're looking at burst 1 in terms of fire, for support we do have Miranda, Emma, and somewhat D Killer Wife is one of the best one here, but ideally for her you want to use her in the sniper team. For burst 2 we do have Bay, Nero. None of these are like super meta by any means, so it's still, fire team is still going to be lacking for now. It's hard to find like a mono fire team, but I'm glad that at least Rei and Asuka, they are going to be the first two. If they are meta, we got a test to see the damage overall. But so far, it's looking really interesting. It's looking really good, and it's looking as though they are meant for each other as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. And the last one is going to be Mari Makinami. Now, what's up with her, right? She's going to be a little bit different. She's a burst skill 2. She's an electric type, and she is a supporter. So unlike the other two, which is attacker fire, she's going to be a supporter electric and burst 2, right? So her skill 1, as you can see, I believe she's going to come later as well. Activates when landing an attack with full charge, affects all allies. Okay, again, increased damage to shield, very, very cool. She's going to be able to support allies with that sense. Alright, so pierce damage increase by 40% when hitting the target's core. Alright, so again, this is going to be dependent on the rapture. It's going to be dependent on the enemy, because not every enemy has a core, right? So that's going to be something like For example, let me think of an example, right? I believe like Alter Saint, the train, there's probably there's core, but it's hard for you to hit. Or something like Grave Digger that moves around. Those are like, you know, almost, you could consider them coreless bosses, right? So let's look at the skill 2. This is where it gets interesting. Affect Self, gains Pierce for 5 seconds, attack increased by 30% for 5 seconds, and also all allies 30% attack of casters attack for 5 seconds. Alright, so she's going to be straight up a very interesting buffer in that sense. 30% is not bad. And then one more right here on the burst skill, affects all enemies, deals 600% of final attack as damage, and also affects all allies, and attack damage increased by 40% or 41% in this case for 10 seconds. Now this is going to be interesting, right? So as a burst 2, she doesn't seem to provide much outside of buffing characters. She's not unique in terms of she gives like CDR, for example, or she's not unique in terms of she provides healing. I still think she's going to be somewhat decent, or maybe above average, because these damage buffs seems to be kind of alright. But if I were to compare her to Dola straight up, I feel like Dola might have more advantage overall, because Dola also have a little bit of attack buff and CDR going for her, and she is going to be a standard character. So Mari Makinami, you know, she might be a little bit underwhelming for a supporter, but we'll have to test her out and see if she can compete with the other relevant meta burst 2 right now. But I'm so glad that none of them are like bad. So far it seems like they might have some sort of potential in terms of the slots to being available in the list of the cast of characters right now, right? So this is going to be Mari Makinami's attack pose, and by far, in my humble opinion, I think she basically probably looks the best out of all the three, right? If you are into like, you know, curvy assets. Okay, so let's look at the burst animation. There we go. Okay, very bright glow right there. Ooh, very interesting. Okay, so that is Mari in Nikke for the Evangelion collab. So overall, these are the three characters. We got Asuka, we got Rei Ayanami, and we got Mari. And I'll try to get all three of them, test them out for sure, and make a more detailed separate video. But for now, this is going to be the first look at their kits. Let me know what you guys think. I feel like Asuka might actually be the best one, but it's hard to say if you can actually use her individually without needing Rei. Probably you can have certain characters to try to like give her shield and stuff, but still, it's going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to test them out and see who is going to be the strongest, and you know, are they going to be insanely meta, or the damage is going to be high or not compared to the other characters. And I kind of want to test out Modernia as well, because that's going to be, you know, one of the few characters that I think deserves it, or deserve the extra damage boost. But we'll see. Alright, so with that being said, that's going to be it for this particular video. I'll see you guys on the stream later. Hopefully, we'll be trying to do pulls and stuff. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a like if you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.